UK and France to lead Ukraine peace initiative, urging Trump's support. UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer announced on Sunday that Britain and France are forming a coalition of the willing to broker a Ukraine ceasefire deal, which will be presented to the United States for consideration. The initiative comes amid ongoing tensions between Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and US President Donald Trump following their contentious White House meeting on Friday. Starmer, speaking ahead of a summit at Lancaster House, emphasized the need for European nations willing to take a more forward-leaning approach to securing peace in Ukraine. Rather than move at the pace of every single member, every single country in Europe, which would in the end be quite a slow pace, I do think we've got to probably get to a coalition of the willing now, Starmer stated, according to The Telegraph. Despite commitments from the UK and France to send troops as peacekeepers, other European nations, including Italy, Germany, and Poland, have expressed reluctance, raising doubts about the viability of a solely European-led initiative. French President Emmanuel Macron asserted that Europe must have a seat at the negotiating table, warning that any US-Russia ceasefire agreement that excludes European input would be a rupture at the heart of the Atlantic Alliance. Speaking to The Times, Macron stressed, "We are in favor of peace, but not of a capitulation that takes place against the backdrop of a rout or abandonment of the Ukrainians." However, the feasibility of a Europe-led security plan remains in question. Former NATO Deputy Supreme Allied Commander General Sir John McCall dismissed the notion that European nations alone could provide security guarantees for Ukraine. "There is absolutely no way that the European nations without American support can provide any form of security guarantee for Ukraine," McCall stated. He outlined the difference between a peace support operation, which would only involve monitoring for ceasefire violations, and a peace enforcement operation, which would require the military capability to intervene against incursions, something Europe alone does not have the capabilities to do. In light of these challenges, European leaders, including both Starmer and Macron, are pressing Zelensky to rebuild relations with Trump. The Ukrainian president was abruptly dismissed from the White House on Friday, after a dispute with Trump over US military aid and Ukraine's refusal to negotiate with Russia. According to La Tribune, Macron urged Zelensky to re-engage with Washington, particularly regarding a mineral rights deal that went unsigned after his fallout with Trump. Polish President Andrzej Duda echoed these calls, stating, "You have to go back to the talk table. Sit down to negotiate. If anyone is able to achieve an end to the war, then the United States has that potential. No one else," according to archived reports. As diplomatic efforts continue, the success of Starmer and Macron's coalition may ultimately hinge on Washington's willingness to support their plan, something that remains uncertain given the growing tensions between Trump and Zelensky.